Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to do the first quest of DDO, where we're going to have to get off the veteran benefit airship that lets you start at levels 4 or 7, or during certain special events, 10. And we're going to go and do the very first quest of DDO, or the tutorial, on Korthos. So, here we go.
You find yourself waking on a shore of flotsam. Memories of a large white dragon striking your ship come flooding back.
Now I'm standing on this beach here with my little tooltips that pop up right over here. These tooltips will pop up and give you instructions every time something new happens. And they will play throughout the game because new stuff happens until about level 15, depending on how you play. And you can walk up to Jeets here, and he will talk to you. Oi, were you on that ship that got attacked by that dragon? You're the first survivor we've seen, and sailors have been washing up for hours. Are you looking for survivors or looting bodies? Now don't go blaming a poor rogue for making a living. Besides, I didn't take nothing from you. You got nothing worth taking. Yes, I seem to have misplaced my belongings. It's right dangerous to walk around without a blade. For my good deed of the day, I can give you something back at my camp. Alright, lead the way.
If what the halfling said was true, no one but you made it to the island alive. It may be worth following this rogue. For now.
We're going to follow the delightfully, totally not suspicious, totally not shady as all get out rogue.
Here we are. So you want a weapon or not?
Here's a weapon for you, but then you do me a little favor. Tit for tat, right? Well, that depends on what you want. I'll take that as a yes. Here, which one of these do you want? So, of these, I'm proficient in exactly one. Simple weapon, quarterstaff. So that's what I'm going to take.
Give it a few swings.
I for inventory. Talk to everybody. My inventory has extra stuff like the VIP ticket for Saltmarsh and the commemorative cloak for the anniversary. Because, again, I've been playing a while.
As you take hold of the weapon, feeling its balance, you can't help but notice this Jeets has more he wants to say.
So, quest objectives appear in the top right of the screen, but all these are movable anywhere you want. They are not resizable, though. It's not a function that they include. And, oops, didn't mean to hit that while paused. Right up here, you're going to see a dungeon helper. This is an additional add-on you can download if you're on Windows. It gives you things like an auto-follow, which does choose to be helpful. Better maps, such as a complete map without any fog of war on it. Instead of this map. This one gives you a lot more data, quest related. The fact that there's a hardcore vendor down there sometimes, I'm guessing, only on the hardcore servers. Things like that. Very helpful. We have Scooper, which will automatically pick up items, which I do have going. It'll automatically pick up gems for me, scrolls for me, keys, wands, potions, ingredients, components. Add things if you want, take things off, whatever. And then this, which just tells you everything that's in every character. M did close that out. Actually. been so long since I played, I forgot I have screen real estate for days. We're gonna leave that right there. Because you guys need to see what I'm able to do and what I can see and work with. Break everything. If you see it and you break it, you can either get loot or gold or what have you. And now we have to talk to him again. That weapon suits you. So, ready to help me out? What task do you have for me? Here's the deal. Thelemos is waiting for us in a cave up the path. Go and tell her we'll be along shortly, just as soon as we finish with all the salvage on the beach. That's it? Give a message to this Selamos? Well, I'm sure Selamos would appreciate any help you give her too. And it'll make her less likely to smash my noggin when I catch up. Very well. I'll go to this cave and help her.
Selena's is at the grotto. Tell her to keep her knickers on.
Selenas is in the grotto. I shall show you the way.
So a thing I can do as a VIP for right now is I can swap my spells on the fly. We're going to go ahead and take Night Shield because immunity to magic missiles is unbelievably powerful for it right now. And we're going to do Thorn Strike. Swap at any time due to this. Another thing we need to make sure we have on our bars is turning off show passives, because passives just give you things like disease immunity, or your druidic oath, or your heroic durability, which is essentially how you can survive what you deal with. We're grabbing Bond of the Fallen, and we're putting it over here on my action bar to be ready at any particular time. And we're turning it on, because I like living. And while that might not help me directly, it will help me indirectly. And that's better than not helping me at all. So, starter potions of heal light wounds. Basically worthless. Unless you're just starting out. Or you're Warforged. Because Warforged don't heal as much from regular healing. They heal 50% at base. They can increase that up to, I believe it is 100%. My only Warforged is my Artificer, and he can heal himself with repair spells. So I didn't care how much healing potions could heal me for. Potions in this game are fairly valuable. We will go over that when I get further in and I get a few extra bits of money to deal with that. And now we're going to go to the grotto, which is the first dungeon. See you next episode. And then we move the icon around because it's going to spawn under other stuff, because I have a very wide screen monitor. So the dungeon comes with a name, level recommendation, duration recommendation, whether it can be done as a group, solo, or whatever, or if it's a raid. Difficulties, how many dungeons you completed, and if you've done any streaks by starting them higher. Private group or public group. And this explains it. Delving bonuses are special XP bonuses you can gain by playing hard, elite, and Reaper difficulty quests in a certain way. To qualify for one, you must play on hard, elite, or Reaper difficulty and cannot be more than 2 levels higher than the quest level on normal difficulty. If you are playing a quest on epic or legendary, You may be up to 4 levels higher than the quest level on epic or legendary normal difficulty. If you are not eligible for a delving bonus in a given quest, you can still play the quest, but you will only receive half of your delving bonus. This quest is only available for solo. You cannot enter it while in a party. We will be doing most of our dungeons on normal until I get more geared and start having combos building up and get more comfortable with the class, because I've never played this particular archetype before. So, yeah. Entering the dungeon.
Is this Selimus, the cleric you were sent to find?
Here's the first dungeon.
Who in Kyber are you?
This is Selimus. I can see why he was worried about his noggin being bashed in. I humbly apologize for my associate. He has a good heart, even if he does not always show it. I'll help you navigate this cave, which leads to a nearby fishing village. You'll be able to find a hot meal and some work there. Is Cheat Shimus your friend? Aren't you worried about turning your back to a rogue? I once thought so too, but Cheat's changed my mind long ago. By the silver flame, he can still get my blood boiling sometimes. But he's never let me down when it truly mattered. Also, Talbron thinks the world of him. Alright, I'm ready. Let's go.
First, I shall surround us with a protective.
So she just cast a spell,
Her
and that means
spell
we'll auto-revive
temporarily
if we
prevents
die.
you from dying, though you can still suffer injuries.
And I just cast Night Shield because
This
Magic
effect
Missile
will wear
is
off when you leave
brutal.
these caves.
4 hit points of damage per missile at this point is a little bit more than I feel like dealing with.
A gate. There must be a way to open it.
I'd almost guess a
Try up that
lever.
ladder. I'll remain here and bash any Sawagan trying to sneak out.
And spacebar to jump, as you'd expect. This is not actionable, otherwise it'd light up.
You hear the shuffling and wheezing of some creature coming from the corridor ahead.
And we will sneak up on this Sahuagin. Ugly fish thing that it is. And we'll hit him with missiles. And then murder the
The
daylights out of
corroded
him.
lever at the rear of this corridor most likely controls the gate where the cleric, Selimus, is waiting.
I will note that
Good job.
when I select them, they may or may not have
Assist you. Onward to glory.
Selimus isn't too honk to me. Thanks for putting in the good words.
numbers. That's because my other characters on their account found monster manuals have killed so many enemies of certain types that I can see health bars and additional stats.
Sawagan are behind. Charge!
Oh look,
What?
a
It's empty?
trap.
Oi, where's the bloody Sawagan?
Look, the door closed behind us.
Yep. And there we go. Spell points do not regenerate over time. You get what you get for each dungeon, and that's it.
There are more of them up there.
Unless you hit a rest shrine. Some people like to do challenge runs where they don't hit rest shrines. I'm one of them, but only on characters that, you know, aren't going to be murdered by not casting spells.
Sawagan wretches, are you scared of me? Come down and fight.
Taunting them, of course.
Righteous smite you!
She plays more lawful stupid than lawful good, but that's par for the course.
Such is the fate of evil. Now, let's find a way out of here.
And now we wait. for scripted events to trigger.
Can't pick this. Anyone see a key?
He can't pick it,
I just stepped on something.
and he
I see a key
triggered the
down
latch.
there. Who's up for a swim?
I vote.
Phobia mean anything to you?
Oh, not gonna be him.
I can't swim in this armor. For the flame's sake, someone go down there.
And she won't swim in her armor,
My joints rust
I
easily.
can't swim.
and he rusts.
Read until the situation
Someone
resolves
go
itself.
down there.
I guess it's up to me.
You grab the
How
silver
there,
key.
successful
Time to
adventuring
swim for the surface.
company. I am not quite sure. Water is all that takes to stop them.
I knew you'd come in handy. This way.
And then we move here, and
I'm
this is a rest zone.
moment to rest.
Ha! I still got plenty of stamina. I can go all night.
So
Why don't you scout ahead then? Just don't get yourself.
I will go ahead and rest because I need more spell points.
I'll take a little peek.
If you're done resting,
Okay.
go and scout ahead with Jeets.
And magic missile protection is back up because I'm not letting that go.
Crikey.
Yeah, that's a crikey. So rogues can disarm traps, and so can artificers. Why, that's a nasty trap. Lucky for you, I'm here. Why is that? Only blokes with rogue skills can deal with traps. Blokes like me. Don't you worry. If you really want to, you can find a trainer to teach you rogue abilities. Once you got enough experience to handle it, that is. Alright. I'll wait while you disable the trap. So when you search an ability, you'll see boxes like that.
Truly. You could
If you're playing a rogue or an artificer. Then you can walk up to it and use thieves' tools to disable it. This is very important and very helpful.
You two having fun? It's time for us to go. The High
Now-
Priestess should be up ahead.
We're going to run through this.
Much suffering rests squarely upon her slimy, webbed hands.
And we're going to kill the High Priestess. Yay!
Performing some kind of profane blood magic.
I will open the door. Prepare yourself. Ready? Go!
And we kill the guards. Oof. Got caught by a cleave. That was not fun.
According to our
Okay.
there's a secret passage around here somewhere leading to Korthos. You boys look for it. I must cleanse the profane energies around the shrine.
So,
Let Selemus do her thing. You and I'll take care of the important stuff. The treasure.
time to open a treasure chest. This is just an interact key.
I've got my share. Go ahead and take what you want from the chest.
And I got starting leather armor, which I can use, a wooden shield, and a ring of water breathing. I'm not a big fan of the water breathing ring, but I will take free spell slots, essentially.
My rogue senses are tingling. There's something fishy in this room. Try
So,
searching around.
I'm going to go ahead and equip the armor, because having a better AC means I'm less likely to get hit, means I'm less likely to suddenly drop, suffer a terminal case of mortality. Weapon sets, which are handled here, allow you to set your weapons onto your quick bars like this, and be able to easily switch between them at a single click. That is very helpful at every stage of the game. Starter gear cannot be traded, sold, or crafted, and is essentially garbage as soon as you replace it.
You feel a stiff draft from somewhere
So,
in this room.
This has a very low
Perhaps the hidden passage to the village is in here.
bind or DC. I think it's like 2,
Found the secret passage.
if that. So now you can open the door.
Tidy lasses and pints up the wazoo. Here I come.
We're almost done here. The way out is up ahead. But first, I want to reward you for your assistance. Please, come speak with me.
We made it, Knox. The door ahead should take us out to the village. But before we go, I want to give you something from my stash, in thanks for your assistance to me and my fellows this day. Oh, thank you very much, Lady Vilni. Call me Selimus. May you always walk the righteous path, Mythnox, and the holy flame look kindly upon your days and deeds. And to you, brave cleric. So, a red, orange, or yellow exclamation mark means you are not actually skilled enough to use it. You don't have the proficiency. So, this gives you important information regarding this. Like, it tells you to take the Ember Sickle, which is the only thing I'm proficient with. This will bind it to me. You can auction mail or trade it to any other characters, but you can still sell it. And that makes it valuable. And new equipment. Setting this onto my action bar, because I'd prefer to have the shield up for the higher AC as the tip stated. And that
Stepping out of the
is the grotto.
you find yourself in Korthos village. The Sahuagin have threatened this place for generations. Judging from how it looks now, the Sahuagin are winning. However, some hopeful souls still hold out for help to arrive.
And that's how the grotto goes. We're going to be moving forward to doing the next quest. One at a time. We're going to go through all the quests here in Korthos village. We're going to go ahead and talk here to Randall. Now, where did you come from? I guess it doesn't matter. I am Randall the Traveler. This is Korthos village. It's going through hard times. What hard times, you say? Well, why don't you have a look around the village and find out for yourself. This triggers the tutorial how to bind your character. If you fall in battle, you return to the last place you bound your spirit at. Characters who can bind your spirit have the title Spirit Binder beneath their names. Every tavern has a spirit binder inside. Find the spirit binder inside the Wavecrest Tavern and ask him to bind you. I'll go look for the spirit binder. So, we're going to go this way. I know where it is, but we're going to go talk to him. Get back through this and say I can't find the spirit binder. Point him out for me. If you are inside the Wavecrest Tavern, the spirit binder now has a glowing yellow checkmark over his head. If you are outside in Korthos village, you must first enter the Wavecrest Tavern. It is marked by a green mug icon on your map. Press M to open. Once you find the spirit binder, left click on him to start a dialogue and ask him to bind your spirit. This yellow triangle here on the minimap shows you where it is. Shows you to Wavecrest Tavern. We're going to ignore her, but we'll come back to her in a second. And we're going to do binding your spirit. This one's a fairly easy one. This is not going to be a long video. And here he is. Brother Malden, Spirit Binder. Title here. Welcome to Korthos, or what is left of it. I am Brother Malden. I used to preach, but these days few will listen. Is there something you need? If I fall in battle, can you bring me back? Yes, even in the darkest of times, the struggle must go on. I can bring you back from the great beyond if your work here is not done. Do you want me to resurrect you here at the Wavecrest from now on? Yes, I want to be resurrected here. And that is it. That is binding your spirit. So this gentleman has a outline of a chalice. That means he's got a quest later. So does Merla here. But hers requires you to spend some DDO points. And now we're going to go back to do the undead quest right up here. So this is Kaja Bauerdottir. I swear to Sybaris, there's unholy wailing coming from Hayton's family crypt. No one wants to check on it for fear of the Sahuagin and their cronies, but what could they want with Hayton's crypt? Oh dear, why won't anyone go down there and see? Sahuagin may have cowed the village, but not me. I shall make sure their evil hasn't polluted the Hayton family crypt. Before we go in there, we're going to go ahead and open using Control R, or opening your enhancement tree from the main menu right here. And I'm grabbing Flightcaster, 1 point. And then accepting. That way when I get more spells, actually, when I swap spells right now, because the Thorn Strike is good for a little bit, but for what I'm dealing with in here, I'm going to want Acid Spray. Hits a little bit harder, a little more consistently. So we're going to go into the Hayton family crypt, and we're just going to do it on normal.
Coming from deep in the crypt, you hear the strange and unsettling echoes
seen
that
you
Kaya
before.
spoke of. And by the passage leading in, a grim-faced man glares at you.
I haven't seen you before. You're new to Korthos. Well, you should go back up to the village. This crypt is falling apart. You could trip on some rubble and hurt yourself. Villagers are talking about some strange noises down here. I'm going to investigate. Let me pass. Fine, don't come crying to me after you trip in the dark and break your neck. You wish I broke my neck.
Strange. Sarcophagi line the walls, but they're broken open and empty. You notice something strange about the wall to the west.
I have a reasonable
If you
spot skill
search
for
the
this
wall,
level.
you may discover more.
And I spotted,
You found some
hidden
kind
wall.
of secret door in the wall.
so I
Once
can
you
open it up.
This is a dark and dusty passage. It doesn't look like anyone's come through here in decades.
And I found some shuriken, which weren't useful, and some bolts, also not useful. You can jump and hit things, most of the time. And arrows. I'm just on a not useful kick, aren't I? At least for this character. And the more stuff you break, the more you get for a ransack bonus. Ransack bonus is handled over here under X, or XP for clicking on it. It determines how much EXP you get, secret doors you've discovered, breakable smashed, persistence bonuses 0 re-entries, deaths, flawless victory bonus, and how much you get at the end of the dungeon.
There's something. A chest. It's out in the open and unprotected. And that's probably what the dead cultist by the chest thought.
So,
You found the triggering mechanism for some sort of trap in this room.
I'm
It
not
would take
trained to
someone
open it,
trained as a
but this would
rogue
show
or
you
artificer to disarm it.
how a control panel looks when it's been found, but I cannot open it.
Acid sprays out of the wall as the gate slams shut.
And I move far enough forward to trigger this without getting in the acid, because it's basically where it shows it. So, all things are made of 3 parts. Thaumaturgic is a prefix, of good luck is a suffix, scepter is a type of one-handed weapon, it's a spell power implement, it's used for casters, impulse deals force damage, and that would also increase physical damage, such as, for example, my thorn casting, glaciation for cold, potency for every individual spell power, which is a different statistic than universal, +1 enhancement, and this one also gives +1 luck. This is a really good early scepter for a spellcaster. Like, honestly, this is really, really good. Some gold pieces and a Sybaris Dragon Shard fragment. The fragment's not useful for us yet, but it will be later. The gate lever will open the gate over there.
A treasure
And-
chest glimmers in this passage. There may be something of use inside.
This is why we have acid spray. Because it dealt 8 damage to everybody.
What were those cultists up to? This heavy mace is a bludgeoning weapon,
It gives me a
ideal
mace.
for smashing apart skeletons. Their bones are resistant to puncturing or slashing weapons.
So, skeletons are subject to bludgeoning. Zombies are subject to slashing. Some enemies split when they're pierced or slashed. So good to note, just in general. I cannot swap my abilities right now because I'm not in a town.
In the middle of this chamber is an evil devourer altar. By
Gotta
it,
get in
a
here
Sahuagin
and
rumbles.
destroy this necromancer as fast as possible.
the human Hatans have forestalled.
The Sahuagin's plan
Because you get
must
bonus
have been
EXP
to use these devourer altars
for not
to
letting them
animate
resurrect
every
them.
body in this. A magical crest appears from the destroyed altar. If you take it with you, it may be
And that
useful
bonus
later.
XP is 68. Doesn't
You
sound like
continue
much.
to hear
but that's
cultists about
almost
their evil work
1/5,
from
that's
further
20%
inside the crypt.
of the base EXP of the dungeon, which is then multiplied by every single one of these bonuses, all the way through. So that ends up being a lot of bonus EXP if you can get all the optionals to trigger. I use DDO Wiki to check for optional for dungeons, for quest information. I'm making these in video format for those of us who, learn better from watching a video or want to listen to a video while they're doing other things. Or need to quickly learn a video or learn about a dungeon or something before they run it. And we're gonna kill the minions. All the minions. Because death to minions. Wait, nope, not those minions.
As you slay these foul cultists, take care to keep your own health up.
So we're gonna go to this next dungeon room and clear
There's
it.
another Sahuagin. It croaks.
Cragwolf Hayton, in life you served the light. But in death, you
And I
shall
didn't get that
serve
one
the
in fast.
devourer.
The Sahuagin gloats. These devourer altars will create a blight of undead upon another crest drops out as you smash the altar. There might still be other altars elsewhere in this crypt.
And the last one's right over here. Because we bypassed
A treasure chest glimmers
A
in the
bit
dark
of the
passage
dungeon.
here.
and we're just
Though
leaving the chest
rusty,
anyway.
this longsword is still sharp. It's a slashing weapon, perfect for slicing through putrid zombie flesh that would resist puncture. There's a Sahuagin in here, performing some kind of ritual.
And we're gonna try and
Dead
kill him
son
in a
of
hurry.
Korthos, rise and do my.
The altar glows with dark power,
And didn't quite
and the
manage it.
Sahuagin continues.
That's fine. Not a
The
big deal.
Sahuagin were using this vile devourer altar to create. When
But-
the altar collapses, a third crest appears. It
Sorry.
glows with cold magic.
Muscle memory makes me just spam E when I break things, which is my interact key. So I saved one, so I'm not going to get the full bonus, but getting all of it on your first run at level, probably not going to happen. There are some classes that can do it, like my Artificer could, but my Artificer also hit like a slightly
A
monstrous
magical
tank.
barrier blocks the way, and behind it, another Sahuagin performs unholy rituals at a devourer. You fit the last crest
Last
in
crest.
place, and the magic shield
quickly
dissipates.
run up here.
The Sahuagin inside spits out in a venomous voice.
And break the altar.
These fools who would keep Korth.
The last devourer altar shatters.
So the breaking the altar will also stop him from resurrecting people as a bonus objective. So that's another way to do it. Or you
Your
just hit
bold
very,
action
very hard.
saved Korthos and brought the Sahuagin's fell scheme to naught. The treasure chest in the antechamber is now yours.
So I'm going to break everything before I leave, so I can get as much of a destruction bonus as I can. And that's it. So, for reference, blue is a moonshine. It will heal you, restore spell points, restore spells uses, restore ability uses, all of that. Red or orange is a sunshine shrine. It will bring people back from the dead when you bring their soul stones, which we will cover later when I have somebody else running with me to show you. So you can see this will give me 515 EXP out of, so I have 1892 out of 2400. So this would just level me, just barely. So I got two pieces of junk of resist fire potion, which can be useful because it just straight up reduces it by 10 off the top. Useful for some times, not so useful for other times. If you can cast better, you get better potion. And then a junky quarterstaff for this build because I don't use radiant damage and I don't use electric, so neither of those are helpful. But it does make good vendor fodder. You will get a portion of the base value. Looting all. And then you can go ahead and hit finish to exit the dungeon. And here we go with continuing the Korthos village quests. We're going to turn in the one we just finished here at the Hayden family crypt. And we're going to collect the rewards. So your options are Amulet of the Brute, which gives -1 intellect, -1 wisdom, and +1 constitution. There is very few times where this is going to be the correct option. Or Amulet of Inner Focus gives you 1 to concentration, competence bonus, and 1 to will save. Much, much better item. And this will bind it to you permanently.
Some of the braver villagers tried to stem the Sahuagin tide, but their
And we're gonna
courage
go ahead
led
and
to
equip
naught
it.
but grievous injuries.
We're
Korthos
destroying the
needs
rusty
someone
sword
with more than just guts.
and the rusty mace. We are marking this radiant quarterstaff as garbage. We don't have to mark gems as garbage because they can be auto vendored by clicking sell gems. And we're gonna go ahead and put the fire resist potion on our bars for right now. We are also going to spend a point that we got, so you have to get 5 ranks to get a level. I'm going to spend 1 of my points right here to get the Thorn Strike as a spell-like ability. Spell-like abilities are better than spells in some ways because they cast at a higher level. they cast for less spell points, and they can get the benefits of meta magic feats such as Maximize, Empower, or Intense spells without the spell point costs. So if it costs 5 spell points as a spell-like ability, no matter what meta magics you have, even if they say they add plus 50 total, 15 from Empower, 25 from 40. Sorry, not 50. 15 from Empower, 25 from Maximize. If it costs 5 and you add those to it, it will not cost 45. It will cost 5. So, we are actually going to stop for a second, and I'm going to check Thorn Strike here. 5 to 7, same thing. Spell point costs 6. Thorn Strike costs 3. Then you go to Enhancements, and you pick up Thorn Strike, and you put it on your action bar. Linus Weir. You're a dangerous druid if I've ever seen one. But I reckon you got a heart too. Up for helping us poor Korthos folks? Depends. What kind of help do you need? See that house yonder north? That's our storehouse. And in the back room, old Lars Hayden put his scrolls. Now the good folks of Korthos need that scroll, so someone's got to go in and get it. I'd do it myself, but the storehouse got a wee infestation. Rodents and spiders is all. But here's the kick. Old Hayden put a shield to keep scaly Sahuagin hands off his scrolls. Only he ain't around no more to turn it off. But I'm sure you're bright enough to do it. The village storehouse is just next to the town tavern. What do you say? Alright, I'll bring the scroll back to you. And you leave from him and you go this way, straight over to the village storehouse. Now, the storehouse quest is short. We're going to be doing this one. And it's the storehouse's secret. Storehouse's secret on normal. No. We can do this one because it's easy. I've done it often enough. We're going to do this one on hard. Because I'm starting to get to the point where my character is now starting to get extra abilities and I'm able to handle a little bit harder. Not much. So, here we go.
Dust and mold fill this ill-maintained storehouse. You can
So,
hear the telltale
we're going to work through the
skittering of
dungeon,
vermin
breaking
nearby.
everything as per the norm. Break everything. Break everything. Literally anything that's breakable must be broken. Reanimated rats, because that's totally normal to find in a storehouse. So, I have no damage reduction, so I'm not quite sure why sometimes I get a 0 on damage intake. Yep, not quite sure. But we'll keep an eye on it. So I'm used to it when I have damage reduction, reducing it by a certain point, and then me not seeing any damage from ability. Unless it was a poison effect. or a disease. Could have been a disease. So that is a potion of Cure Light Wounds that I just picked up. It's 3 to 8 plus 1 for every additional caster level up to 5. So this one, because it's a light, it's just a basic potion, is only 1d6 plus 2 plus 1. Versus the starter one, which is 6 to 11. So straight by the numbers, the Cure Light Wounds potion is worse than the starter potion. Every time. Because the starter potion here can heal for 6 to 11. This can only heal 3 to 8. And remember, we're breaking absolutely everything. So I got an aggression bonus for killing 5 things, which is bonus 10%. There will be more bonuses later.
This appears to be the main storeroom. It seems the villagers have been preparing for a protracted siege.
And this is the benefit of an AoE spell. Is you can sit there and just nuke the daylights out of everything. And when you break things in this room, eventually you're going to find a key. That key will cause a mob to spawn.
A large silver Sahagin emerges from a hidden passage, demanding the
And it
key.
gives you a red name
You
boss.
mustn't let the scrolls fall into devourer hands.
Make sure you have Night Shield up because he does cast spells. And that's Magic Missile being blocked by Night Shield. For example, here. He missed me, he missed me, he missed me. He hit me but did no damage. So, yeah, Night Shield's worth it. The regular shield spell is the same way. It will do the same thing. But instead of protecting you from resistances, like Night Shield does, makes you more likely to resist spell effects, it will instead grant you actual AC. So this chest gave me a Scepter of Combustion, which I don't use fire spells, and Evocation, which is fine, Citrines, Lapis Lazuli, and gold pieces. And as we run through the dungeon, we just mark stuff that we're not going to be using sometime in the next century as garbage. And we just keep moving through the dungeon. One room at a time. One room at a time. Being able to outright cast in combat is amazing for your survival. That's why having a very high concentration and a very high bonus to your concentration skills is important for anybody who's going to be doing any kind of casting. And while it looks like the game is very generous with money, it also is very big on the money sink side of it, so things cost a lot. And yes, I'm sitting on 13 platinum right now. Sounds like a lot if you're used to D&D 5e. In this game, 13 platinum will go quick.
The door swings open, revealing a magical
Keys are
sphere
auto-used.
around the scroll.
Breaking all the barrels before I open
It
the scroll.
appears that the floor in this room can be moved and rotated.
So, tiles like this are called puzzle tiles. You can rotate them by clicking on them. I know, heathenist concept, but that's what it is. This is a source tile. It generates the power to run the puzzle. These are the runes that you need to activate. If you've done any kind of games like this, you can figure this out real easy, real quick. Pardon my camera work. Apparently I'm king of the shaky cam today. Great. Oh well. And now that I've got them all set up, and no, it's not the same every time. It's random. You rotate that so it lights up.
The protective spell
And the spell
dissipates. All
shield
that remains
drops.
now is to take and deliver the scroll.
That's 751 EXP. Why it's not the same as here, I'm not quite sure. Never mind, moving on out. Faster to walk out on that one. And that's the end of that dungeon. Here we go for the last quest in the first series in Korthos Village. We're going to first go over to Linus Weir, and we're going to turn this back in. Oi, you got the scroll. Let's see what it says. What's this then? There are no pictures. Well, never mind. I'll get it to someone who knows how to read. Don't worry, I ain't gonna forget you. Here, take this for your trouble. I'm going to personally take the Lesser Health Belt. I, personally, would like some more health. Dax Boone here is the general vendor. We're going to talk to him, and we're going to trade. We're going to tap repair, add all, and repair it all. It's going to cost us a little bit. Sell gems, add junk, and that. And then just sell it. Baldar the Bold. Fisherman sitting before you winces as he bandages his leg. What happened to you? It was the Devourer cult. They came and destroyed our Kaneth crystals. We tried to stop them. Vogel here was hit pretty bad. And I think I broke my ankle, but we got away with one crystal. Just one. We put it in the basement of Korthos Hall. They'll come back for it tonight. And we're in no shape to stop them. I think it's time this cult was given a taste of its own medicine. I'll protect this crystal for you. Praise the Silver Flame. Please protect the crystal. We're going to go ahead and add our talent point here. And because it doesn't auto-update, we're just going to update the spell like that. Problem solved. We're going to do this one also on hard. Gotta keep it interesting for myself too. So we're going to come into the hall.
Is the cellar where the Kaneth crystal is hidden.
Come on into the hall, open the lever.
You can feel the life-saving
here's
heat
the
emanating
heated
from
crystal.
the magic crystal Baldar spoke of. But from the shadows approach those who would doom Korthos by destroying
Magic missile
it.
shield. So I can now cast this faster. Not significantly faster, mind you, but faster nonetheless. It also, because I have a high enough spot, I can... And yes, you can line of sight these guys around corners, and they're too stupid to avoid it.
Dastardly cultist shatters the crystal with a well-aimed blow. Korthos is doomed to an icy grave.
That didn't work out. So, we're gonna do that again. So we're going to do this on normal, because this one's a little harder than you'd think. At least solo. And we're going to go ahead and cast Night Shield.
Ahead is the cellar where the Caneth crystal is hidden.
Because
You
I don't
can
like getting
feel
hit with
the
magic missiles.
life-saving heat emanating from the magic crystal Boldar spoke of. But from the shadows approach those who would doom Korthos by destroying it.
And now you just defend the crystal. And they will attack the crystal over you sometimes. Other ones, like this acolyte, aren't that bright. That's why you can lure them around boxes that are perfectly defensible. Straight into your sickle. Or your mace, or your sword, or a bunch of crossbow bolts. Ever strikes your fancy. You need magic missiles. No, they don't learn. To be fair, I'd be upset if they learned. Because that'd make my life so much harder. We're going to switch to the club because it adds additional spell power. Five of them left. Here we go. And yes, that increases physical damage, which Thorn counts as. So spell power increases it by a percentage. 20 spell power gives you 20%. Not many things scale it faster than that. That's why the Empower and Maximize Meta Magic feats are so, in general, broken. And this guy takes forever to spawn no matter what.
You have slain the last
And that's the
cultist,
last of the
thus
cultists.
protecting the Caneth crystal and saving Korthos.
And it's a very short walk out. It takes longer to teleport than it does to walk out. We're going to go ahead and turn into Baldur the Bold. Is the crystal safe? Yes, the cultists came as you said they would. And when they tried to destroy the creature, crystal, I felled them. This village will remain warm. Well, warm-ish. So bracers that give you some hit points. 8 plus 1 per caster level. So this will give you 11 hit points. Saves against fear, bonus on attack rolls. That's pretty decent. Or bracers that will remove 4 damage unless it's from bludgeoning or piercing. Or unless it's from bludgeoning or slashing. almost every Sahuagin uses spear. Spearbane is the way to go.
Hero, it is on the people's lips as you walk by. Cautious looks have become friendly nods. Then word comes that your presence is requested in the tavern.
And that is the end of that dungeon and this episode. So, I will catch you all next time.